My friends, pay close attention to what CENTCOM's explosive chart has just revealed, because the last time the world saw a movement of this magnitude was in 2003 at the start of the Iraq War. What's happening now in the Strait of Hormuz is not a drill, it's the activation of the checkmate playbook. 3 American supercarriers, the Lincoln, the Ford, and the Bush, are now positioned in a tight encirclement. This means that the naval stranglehold on the Tehran regime has reached the level of total paralysis, costing the regime an astronomical loss of $500 million per day in oil revenues. Understand this, the United States is not just watching the Gulf, they are grinding Iran's economy through a barrier of steel and silicon that the regime has no way to break through. Stay with me, because today I'm going to show you the tactical breakdown of this supremacy, and how Iranian propaganda itself made a bizarre mistake that reveals the desperate fragility of a dictatorship that's running out of financial oxygen. Iran is bringing a kitchen knife to a bazooka duel, and the result of this imbalance is what's going to redefine the map of the Middle East in the coming weeks. And to understand why the Tehran regime is in a panic, we need to decode what these 3 giants represent. First, we have the USS Abraham Lincoln. It carries on its deck the F-35C Lightning II 5th-generation fighter jets that are true stealth beasts. This means that the United States has invisible eyes and ears inside Iranian airspace, capable of identifying and destroying targets before any enemy radar even detects the threat. The Lincoln is the tip of the technological spear, the intelligence and attack package that neutralizes the regime's air defense without firing a single warning shot. Next to it, we have the USS Gerald Ford, the most advanced aircraft carrier ever built by mankind and also the largest in the world. The Ford introduces the EMAL system, the electromagnetic aircraft launch system. This means that the launch rate is much higher than traditional steam systems, allowing the United States to launch continuous waves of attacks with less mechanical wear and greater precision. The Ford is the war machine of the 21st century, designed to operate the Super Hornets and the E-2D Hawks in a symphony of coordinated destruction. And to complete the encirclement, the USS George W. Bush. It brings the raw power of the FA-18F Super Hornets and the electronic attack Growlers. This means that any radio or radar signal Iran tries to activate will be instantly taken down, leaving the regime's forces blind and mute in the middle of combat. But why 3 aircraft carriers, you ask me? The answer is the math of domination, 24/7 coverage. In naval warfare, one ship needs to refuel while another prepares for the mission. With 3 strike groups operating together, the United States ensures there are never any gaps in the sky. While one aircraft carrier undergoes maintenance, 2 dominate the seas and the skies. It's American determination meeting the most advanced technology on the planet to ensure the Strait of Hormuz is a no-go zone for any hostile moves by the regime. And you? Would you like Brazil to have these formidable machines to protect our resources? Comment here. While the United States and Israel use cutting-edge artificial intelligence to guide stealth drones and cruise missiles, did the propaganda wing of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard decide to strike back with an intern's mistake? Check this out! In a promotional video that was supposed to show the invincibility of their elite divers, the Iranian side created a soldier with 3 arms holding a rifle. Yes, my friends. This reveals that the regime's technological sophistication is a sham propped up by poorly configured tools. Is it like a technological tsunami up against a clogged water gun? And this bizarre mistake isn't just funny, it's a diagnosis of the system's fragility. If the propaganda department can't even generate a realistic image of a soldier, imagine the reliability of the targeting and navigation systems of their homemade missiles, all coming from Russia and China. The regime tries to project an image of surprises that surpass the enemy's imagination, but the only real surprise is the systemic incompetence that permeates Tehran's leadership. While the Pentagon operates with millimeter precision, the Revolutionary Guard operates with cardboard cutouts and digital illusions that don't withstand a closer look. And the analyses of the Revolutionary Guard reveal that we are not dealing with a conventional army, but with a transnational mafia structure. Pay attention. The Revolutionary Guard operates like the head of a cartel that controls everything from oil to money laundering on foreign soil. Intelligence reports have shown that hundreds of members of the Revolutionary Guard are operating in Canada and Germany, laundering money to finance hostile movements and radical protests in the West. This means that the Tehran regime exports its chaos to try to destabilize democracies from within, using the Iranian people's money to fuel global terror. However, Trump's naval blockade struck at the financial heart of this mafia. The loss of $500 million a day in oil revenue is the coup de grace to the loyalty of the Revolutionary Guard's subordinates. When the mafia's money dries up, internal betrayal begins. The generals who were once loyal to the regime because of bribes and luxury are now starting to look around for a way out. Economic suffocation creates fractures within the elite divisions, forcing the leadership to choose between funding their terrorist groups in Lebanon and Yemen or avoiding the total bankruptcy of the state. And the regime tries to use its Mosquito fleet, hundreds of fast boats armed with AK-47s and mines, to intimidate the oil tankers. But the reality is that these boats are easy targets for the 25mm cannons of the F-35S and for the American Marines, who have already been ordered to shoot to kill against any boat that tries to lay mines. Iran is trying to wage a harassment campaign against a force that is prepared for annihilation. Trump's strategy is clear: grind down the economy until the regime is forced to sit at the negotiating table in Islamabad empty-handed and with their heads down. But what Iran didn't expect was the move that the American Marines just made on the seized ships. While the Revolutionary Guard makes propaganda videos showing their commandos descending from helicopters onto ships that already had welcome ladders prepared, the United States Marines have stepped up mine-sweeping and ship recapture operations. With a professional efficiency that Iran cannot replicate, the U.S. Marine Expeditionary Unit is the Brad factor in this story. That guy the regime told the militias not to worry about, but who is now dominating the deck of every strategic ship in the Gulf. And this coordinated military pressure has a diplomatic goal: the peace talks in Islamabad. The Iranian regime is being pushed to the negotiating table under the threat of 3 supercarriers. This means that any proposal Tehran presents now will be made under the shadow of total destruction. And the result is an Iran that needs to beg for a ceasefire in order not to see its economy completely evaporate. Washington's 4D strategy is to keep the blockade firm while internal divisions in Tehran increase, forcing the hardliners to give in to the reality of hunger and bankruptcy. What we are witnessing now is the definitive demonstration that the era of impunity for Iran's terrorist regime is over. The presence of the 3 carrier strike groups, Lincoln, Ford, and Bush, is proof that the United States and Israel are no longer interested in diplomatic warnings but in operational results. The United States at sea and in space, Israel in the air? This means that the map of the Middle East is being redrawn by the force of technology and economic suffocation. Iran believed that its Mosquito fleet and its empty propaganda would be enough to deter the West, but they found out that you can't fight a tsunami with a water pistol. Our intelligence bunker is where we keep decoding this scenario and what is really happening behind the scenes of this silent war. On rented ground, the truth always hits a ceiling, and that's why the in-depth analysis of the map of events is handled on our exclusive platform. We already have more than 3,000 subscribers funding the information that shields the mind and ensures that you see the board before the pieces move. Access is here via the QR code in the first pinned comment and in the video description. Come to the side of those who don't accept the official narrative as destiny. And for you who want to protect your family's perception against the ideological mud that has taken over entertainment, our series and movies channel brings you tips without woke culture, without whining. Movies and series that will strengthen family values and show you what has already been predicted in cinema and is happening right now in the Middle East. The link is down here and in the cards that will appear on the screen. Now subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like on the video. Shield your mind. Do you really believe that Iran would risk its Mosquito fleet against the 25mm cannons of the F-35? I'm Shimon Oliveira and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.